Hello everyone, I'm Silent Death and welcome back to my Let's Play Space Engineer series. I've done some work on our shop between episodes, built some of the pistons. I had to move it over quite a bit, that direction. I just hooked up the engineer's toolbox to the merge block right there, and then on the far side over there, there was another merge block, which I merged with a station. So I converted it to a ship, moved it, and then converted it back to a station. Also, for the pistons, I've been merging them with the station too, so that building these guidance rails, I suppose they are, is much easier. And then I just can place like a cargo container on it and convert it back to a ship when that is done. But we're not going to work on that this episode because I'm still building the pistons. Instead, today, since we're building something to chop up ships, we need to build something to get ships to chop up. So we're going to revisit our Star Fury design. I want to create a better version since our prototype did not work out that well. Here is all that is left of our prototype. I think I'm going to diverge a little bit further in this next version from the actual Star Fury, the Babylon 5 Star Fury, based on the limits of the blocks. We'll also, of course, have to make it lighter since that was the main problem with the previous version, is that it was far too heavy. With factions, we have a little bit more focused fire from bad guys. They just target blocks that have computer components. And we can also maybe use some kind of decoy system to help with that. So hopefully I won't need to have the entire thing cased in heavy armor. Though there are going to be things like the reactor and the cockpit are going to be completely encased. Let's just start out here with a new small ship. The game is running rather slow today. Just clear out my inventory a little bit. We'll really need heavy blocks, so do that. We're going to need this type of cockpit. I really wish that you could have these type of cockpits and glass for small ships so that you could build your own cockpit. Hopefully that is something they add at some point in the future, but it would be much nicer for these kind of things. We are also going to make this black again. If I can find black, there's black. Just to make sure that we have plenty of room for the engines to have clearance and everything. Okay, now then, we're definitely going to have the cockpit much further back since it has all those nifty computer components. It's going to need to be buried a little bit deeper in the hole. Okay, rotate you. I'm going to restart the game a minute and see if I can't improve my frame rate, because 6 frames per second is a bit low. Restarting did not help, but turning off the spotlights did, so maybe that was a problem. I do want the guns to be further forward and similar to how I had them last time. Where are you, guns? There you are. I guess that'll do. But it needs to be There we go. Facing that direction. And I think we're going to have them both like that. Which means... Actually, I think this one's going to be a little bit lower. Yeah. We'll put... those change colors. Oops. There we go. Oops. Crap. Okay. Let's try that again. So, 1, 2, 4. And then like that. There. And let's see. That one goes in one, and this one goes out one. Or something like that. Yeah, that's one more. Like that. And then, for the top, we'll kind of reverse it. We'll need some of these. I think that'll work. Just have one gap between them. And this one will be... I guess that should be a block. The other type of block. These. So where can we put that? Guess we don't need these two just yet. What is your problem? Do you not have something to set up against? That's not good. Alright. I can deal with this. Now there needs to be... Yeah, probably a conveyor block there. Then... a bendy tube. I remember I had a problem with these being cooked up properly, but I can't remember what the problem exactly was. Hopefully it's not too bad. Wait, are you just floating in the air or something? I don't understand why I can't place you. That one. Yeah, this one needs to be one of these. Actually, well, that already has one, so it doesn't really matter. But just to make things easier, we'll put, well, we'll use a bendy tube. Even though I could use a conveyor block so that it would do both those two. And then we'll just have one more straight tube. And hopefully that'll work. Alright, I think that's going to be how we do the guns, except for they're wrong. Right, because this one's supposed to be inside, and that was supposed to be outside. Crap. Okay. That just means that we need to add a bendy tube. And one more other tube. which means we could get rid of that other bendy tube. Thought it was auto-saving there. Yeah, that'll work. Put a conveyor block there. And we're doing it wrong again. Crap. Because these don't have things on the end. I keep forgetting that. There. And there. Do I have this one set up correctly? Not yet. That one too. Alright. And then I can have the ammo probably feed in through this conveyor block. I might want to shrink that a little bit and remove this gap, in fact. Though that's even like it is. It's just a little bit on the tall side. Yeah, it would be uneven if I did it differently. That means we would need to have... That's bad. Let me think about this. If I don't change it, I'm just going to do the other side and weld it together. And if I do change it, I'll come back with whatever I'm going to change it with. Okay, here is how we're going to do the guns. I staggered them differently so that we don't have to have the loop that comes around top here, which allows us to keep them evenly spaced while not requiring that extra bit of armor on the outside. And we're going to be running out this direction with the tubes. And this will be where our magazine capacity is, directly behind the cockpit. Come on, turn. This one doesn't turn as smart as the larger version. And then we'll just have, oh, I don't know, a couple of cargo containers, small ones. I don't want to have the medium one in this version due to the size limitation. I actually did some math to figure out how much this thing could weigh and still have the same acceleration as the actual Babylon 5 Star Fury, which has 9.5 Gs of acceleration, and it's roughly 12.5 metric tons with 8 large engines. Not going to happen, given that that's 6.5 metric tons. This will obviously be quite a bit heavier. I don't think we're going to go out... Well, actually, we could go out one more. We probably won't need that much cargo capacity. I hope we won't anyway. I guess we could add another one down here if we do. Then, behind that, and also able to reload using the same access point, is going to be the large reactor. So like that, yeah. I need to think about the armor, so let me be right back. I snuck in some gyroscopes. Have 4 of them now. We'll probably add some more on the engine pods, because I want it to be pretty maneuverable. I checked to make sure that the connections to all the Gatling guns work. And they do. So it can be fully loaded. I also added a little landing pad and connector above my cargo container on the engineer's toolbox, just so that the blue SUV can come in and grab stuff, and the red SUV can drop it off if it needs to. Now then, let's get working on the armor. I'm going to build these as kind of a brace. And we'll add some light armor bracing. Say there. There. What about there? One more there. And we'll do the same on this side. Or was it? Here. Yeah, that'll be fine. And we'll just basically coat... We'll need to coat the guns in armor. We know that much. At least heavy armor. The entire guns themselves. So our armor is going to come up there. We'll probably not have a gap here so that things can't get to it. It's tempting, but I don't think that's a good idea. We'll basically need to coat the entire middle section in heavy armor, it looks like. The only places we could get away with not having heavy armor is going to be where the engine pods are going to connect. And even then, that's a little bit iffy. I suppose we could do a mixture of heavy armor and light armor for the engine pods. I think we'll build up to here with heavy armor. How far? Okay, yeah. Then that'll be the bottom. I forget how big the engine pod bracing is going to need to be. But I'm thinking it will probably be maybe 3x3-ish. Possibly a little bit longer. So I'm going to at least start off with having this area be light armor. Come on. And let me try working on the way. I'll try to remember how I was going to do the engine pods bracing part. I do not remember exactly what the pattern I was going to use is, but it's something. Guess it'd be like that. And then we have something like that. And then we extend this pattern. Out a little ways. And then the other one will branch right off the bottom here. So we'll have two that come, like, they sweep out and backwards. I'm not quite sure how far they're going to go. But I want them to go at least a little ways from the center area. I don't know what that's called, but the center fuselage. So yeah, I'll build that out and probably fiddle with it a little bit to get the right length, and then I will be right back. Okay, this is mostly done. It's starting to look good, I think, anyway. Now then, let's see if we can't do something about the engines. I made the whole thing out of light armor blocks and just made that heavy armor, because it seemed to be easier that way. Now then, let's see, we'll come off of this, I think. Yes, that'll work. So there. I'm going to have more thrusters on this version, even though it's also going to be lighter. Let's see. Something like that for the thingamaboppers. Maybe even like that. Maybe even like that. We'll see. You go there. You go there. Then these two here. How many engines is that? 1, 2, 5. These are just going to be the retro thrusters, so they're going to be the weakest ones. As we're not going to be relying on them to slow down so much as just turning around and using our main thrusters to slow ourselves down if we ever really need to stop on a dime. Now then, I'm going to upgrade the lateral thrusters and the vertical thrusters quite a lot, because those are the thrusters that we use to dodge enemy fire. I'm not sure if I want to use a bunch of little thrusters or just one giant thruster, which is what I'm trying to decide now. How many would that be? 1, 2, 3. And then we made all these. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's not enough. I think we're going to have to go with giant thrusters. Whoops. Come back. Don't leave me. Please. Oh, that's just not good. Well, I'll deal with that part later. Where were we? I've lost the craft. Okay, there it is. So I guess I need to redo that. I thought they were attached better than that. Should probably attach them on this side. Or no, I can't do that, can I? Something like that. I'll figure something out. We're really just trying to lay it out first. Is this one? Yeah, one more back. There. And then... Oops. That doesn't look right. Like that. We will anchor this somehow on this side. Let's see, I had... Yeah, we'll just come off here and anchor it. Keep it from floating away when I fiddle with things over here. Okay, now what was I saying? Large or small thrusters? We're definitely going to have large ones on the back. I know that much. So that'll probably be here, and then right beside that. So where does that leave us? It looks like small thrusters would really be better if I could fit enough of them. At least for the vertical thing. See if we do 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Then 7, 8, 9. 10, that's almost a big thruster. It wouldn't be so wide. Which then leaves us with room to put another big thruster here. That won't fit well, will it? Can maybe put it underneath? That doesn't really fit in well with our pylon design. Could move the whole thing up. It's way down there. Have to put it... Yeah, that wouldn't work well. Not unless I move the whole pylon up a little bit. And that would be too tall if I did it that way. What if I stacked these? Like that. Then maybe I could have a thruster come on, going up and down this way. Not sure I like that. And then we could have the lateral thruster in place of all these little ones. Could fit right in here. Make sure that this is well anchored before I do any disassembling. That would theoretically work. It would not look as good, but it would work. I'm not happy about how it would look though. Not at all. Maybe if I move those in, no, that wouldn't look good either. Let's brace this. Oops. How about on this side? And then see how that side thruster would look. That's okay, that's a thruster. Made you flat. Can I? That? Alright. I suppose what we could do is take out that, go back to using two side by side like this, which I think looks better. And then just have all the small thrusters be along the top of these. If we just had a line on top of those, that would be enough. Let me think about this for a minute, and I need to restart the game. Okay, I do think that I like it this way, and I have restarted the game. I don't know if anyone else has that bug where you suddenly start moving kind of irregularly slow, and then you speed out really fast, and then you slow down again. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. One thing I am worried about is the vulnerability of our engines. If they're all in a big block, that might make it easier for them to be killed, because they won't be as protected by armor. So I'm going to try to address that issue somewhat by creating a couple little blocks of engines. Actually wanted at least a 2 wide gap between them. So there. I could move these up one. How many is that? 12. That's enough. And that means right here in the center, I can put our backup reactor and our extra gyroscope. And we'll also have that connected to a cargo container that's going to be accessed from the outside. That's something like this. Oops. Wrong one again. Where are you? There you are. I think the outer hull probably going to be that far. Yeah, that looks about right. And then I'll just encase this whole thing in armor and maybe pretty it up a little bit more. Weld it together and be back. Probably go ahead and do the other engine pods as well. So again, I'll be right back. I'm back. I have finished the engine pods. I've been working on them for about 9 hours now. I've changed my mind repeatedly, but this is the final-ish version. I'm still not sure if I want to extend this out all the way so that it comes to a point, or leave it like that. I, as you can see, changed the slope, the way the engine pylons were sloped, and that necessitated changing the engine pods. I went with a more vertical approach. So we have 12 small thrusters there, another 12 small thrusters there, a large thruster in there, and our 2 large thrusters right there, as well as a gyroscope and a reactor down there. I may include more gyroscopes in the engine pods. I ended up adding more to this part, but I would like to distribute them a little bit more across the ship. Maybe if I get damaged enough where I have to rebuild that part of it, I'll do that. As it stands, it should have enough power to continue running at 100% efficiency, combat effectiveness, if the main reactor is taken out. Each of the individual reactors in the pods have enough to run roughly 3 large engines, and each large engine accounts for 12 small thrusters. That is manual thrust power requirements, not the retro or the inertial dampener thrust. And I've just pretty much encased this in heavy armor in the middle here and rounded off the corners. Since our pylons don't provide us a place to mount rocket launchers, we're going to put a couple in the front here. I hope that's the right direction. I guess we'll find out if it isn't. Just to have a little bit extra oomph. Let's see, can I weld that? No? Okay, let's go grab our SCV and see about welding it. Currently, its mass is about 75% that of the Star Fury, but it has twice the main thrust and 12 times the vertical and lateral thrust. So hopefully we won't have any maneuvering issues. Can those be auto-loaded now? I didn't think they could be. So maybe I'll change them so that they're on their side. Well, I can do that off camera. I'll just rotate them so that that port, assuming that port actually works, that port there connects to these, assuming they're not already connected. I can't load them from the front anymore? Where is the option then? I guess you can't load those the same way. Doesn't appear so. Alright, I can deal with that. The final thing I want to do is add a little bit of ECM. That is ECM, electronic countermeasures, in the form of some decoys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add what I'm thinking of calling ECM blisters at various points along the hull, which is just going to be a decoy then some heavy armor blocks, I could never get these right. Something like let's see. This will go out. And then that'll be there. There. Here. Whoops. Need to go out that far. And here. And then we'll add in these corner pieces. And I guess I'll change that to be one of these. Assuming it looks right. May not. Or maybe it's not that one, but... If I change this to be one of those? Yeah, that looks better. Kind of. Not really. What would we do? Change that. Then change that. That. Oops. And then we can change these. That's how we want it. Alright. And then we'll put one in the center, and I'll change the other corners there. But we're going to put one there. And we'll put another one on the bottom. Somewhere like right at the same position on the bottom. That's what? 2, 3 blocks. There. I'll also want a couple on the engine pods. I'll want one in the right center back here, just to draw fire away from if the ones on the engine pods are destroyed. I don't want the turrets targeting the reactors and cargo containers inside the engine pods. We might just put them on the bottom here. It's either that or right here. I think I like the bottom better. Probably. Actually, it's probably going to shoot. No, it needs to be on the outside. I could put them actually right here. That's what we'll do. We'll extend these out, but we'll make them to be ECM stuff. And extend that out with heavy armor. Let me weld all this and I'll be right back. The ECM blisters are done. I realize they look a little bit strange, but if it keeps us alive, that's fine. I put these on the top and bottom because the weapons are on the side, and that way if these take a missile, it won't destroy all of our weapons. The ones on the wingtips here look quite a bit better. We also have that one. And I fixed the missile launchers. I just had them backwards because that is not part of the missile launcher. That is conveyor, and I was being derpy, so just ignore that. One more thing we want to do is to name this. I've decided, I did sneak in a beacon there. I've decided that I'm not going to call this a Starfree because it diverges far enough from the design that I think it deserves its own name. And I may want to use the name Starfree for something that is a more literal interpretation. So, what I am going to call this is the Blackwing. I think that's a good name for it. Before we end this episode, there is a couple things I wanted to mention. Did I miss a piece there? Yes, that happens on occasion, but I'll fix that later. I wanted to mention that I've been trying to keep be more active on Twitter, specifically relative to my channel, I mean. And that means that if you're ever wondering when an episode of something like Space Engineers is going to go up, or you're wondering what is taking so long, or anything like that, you can check my Twitter feed, because I keep posting or tweeting about when I'm recording and what I'm working on. And I'll also have, or tell you when I'm finished recording an episode and am uploading it, so that you'll have a little bit of warning, and you can kind of find out what the schedule is going to be for more irregular episodes like Space Engineers. You can find a link to my Twitter in the description if I remember. If I don't remember, there's also a link on my channel on the top banner bar, just the Twitter icon there. Click that. You can get to my channel by clicking the subscribe button at the end of this episode. Even if you're already subscribed, it should take you to my channel. And if you're not, you should be. Alternatively, you can click my name down at the bottom, or down below this video. Also, I've been trying to be more active on Steam. I do not really use Steam as much when I don't have to. Mostly because in the past I've had problems with logging into Steam while I'm uploading videos, given that my internet connection is not very good. But I've been trying to be a little bit more active, and I've created kind of a channel page for, not a channel page, but whatever it's called, the Steam user page for that at Silent Death. So I think it's like, I'll put a link in the description, I don't remember exactly what it is. But you can friend me on Steam if you want to talk to me in that manner. If you don't like using the comments for some reason, though I would obviously prefer that you use the comments, because I might be recording. Thus, if I have the busy flag on my Steam user account, please do not message me. That means I'm probably recording or doing something where the pop-up would not be a good thing. But that is it for this episode. We will take this for a spin in a future episode. Like if you like. Subscribe if you're not. Leave a comment if you have anything to say. I do read all the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time!